All right, so warrior and his fear. And this will take a minute because my computer's running slow for some reason today to get this screen up. But this is kind of the hidden emotion, fear. You know, nobody can see when I'm feeling fear or you're feeling fear. For the most, teeth are chattering, arms shaking. A lot of us hold our fear. So this isn't working. So I'm going to go back to this screen. Is that big? Is that big enough? Everybody can see it? Okay. All right. So let me move things around on my screen because I got buttons I've got to move. Okay. So I'm Reuel Czach, noble servant. And I volunteered to lead this elder cafe to share a gift of my fear because it works for me. And I've learned over the last 15 years in the Mankind Project how to get more awareness of my fear. And I went to my first men's meeting 14 years ago. And here's the fear I had then. I was dying. I was physically dying. And that's what it took for me to go to a men's meeting, to get over my fear of men, for one thing. But I had to have nothing to lose, basically, to go. So sometimes you wonder, like I do, I'll be wondering, why don't men join the Mankind Project and come to a meeting? Some of us have had a lot of fear around other men or other things that we don't come. So one of the things I learned is to work with my fear. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is learning to work with our fear. And I'm learning to work with this slideshow. Okay, so we're going to have an opportunity today to see your fear more clearly, see how others carry their fear, develop a simple way to describe your fear, understand your fear to help you with others. And by that I mean, when I work with my fear and it becomes an ally, it's easier to hear other men. It's easier to work with others. And then we're going to take action steps to make a better relationship with fear. And then we're going to create a space where fear has a gift to give you. So I've sat in like 2 or more men's meetings every week for the last 10 years. And for the first 10 years, I checked into each of those meetings with fear as being one of my current emotions. So I think that experience with fear, I needed to learn how to work with it better. I was kind of forced to it, and now it's become a gift for me. So anyway, that's what's given me the courage to do this process today. So here's what we're going to do. We got a 2-hour presentation. We got an introduction, which I just done, agreements Bob's going to do, a check-in Bob's going to do, death breath. Tom Biesanz is going to do that for us to get us grounded. And then we'll get into the topic. We're going to break out into 3 sessions and then wrap up the topic and check out. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to Bob for the agreements.
Okay. You know what? I was, okay, the agreements. Hang on.
Oh. You want to see them on the screen?
I got it. No, thank you though. That was my expectation, but our agreements. So for safety purposes, we just want to make a couple of agreements. And hang on, so let me unpin you. So, man, I am doing 2 different functions on this. And so bear with me, thank you. I'm hosting and I'm doing the Zoom thing, hosting that too. So everything on this call is confidential. So attend using a private space. Do not record any part of the call. I'll just read this then. Expressions of harm and self-harm are accepted. Use the word safety to stop the conversation if you don't feel safe at any time. Call for a host. The format does not allow for processes or clearings. We can arrange support for them later. Offer suggestions or advice after getting permission from the man directly. And if you need to leave the call early, use the chat feature to check out. Best in person before you go. So those are our agreements.
Well, before you continue, it's showing that we're recording this call.
Yes, we are. I'll get to that in just a second. Okay. Okay, so we need your names and emails in chat. So you just put your name and your email. That allows us to contact you, to put you on the list for the next call, send a feedback survey to improve our experience, inform you of future Elder Cafes, and a way for you to contact us about future topics you would like. Next slide, please. The recording agreement. So for the purpose of using today's presentation as a video training tool, if you do not agree to the recording of today's event, what is being said in the main presentation, and the use of your image or words, please exit now. So all this is going to be recorded. The video is going to be pinned on Reuel. So we're going to be, and it's pinned on me right now. So the only recording is what Reuel's presentation is. When you go to the breakout rooms, there's no recording. When other men contribute, you won't be seen. Your voice will be heard, but only Reuel is gonna have the video. Okay, let's go to check-in. Name, spirit name, current emotions, 20 seconds. And let's start with Tom, myself, and Lex. So Tom, go ahead.
And then I just unmuted myself.
Yes.
I'm Tom Biesanz from Santa Barbara. I am soaring sea turtle, and I am feeling some excitement being with this group. This feels very.
And take it from here.
Yeah, Reuel, Zach, noble servant, checking in. Got some fear. Yeah, a bunch of fear out here in front of me, and a lot of joy. This has been just a wonderful tool for me to work with, and I'd love to see more men get more tools that we can just have a better life together. And so I'm in with that. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Go to the next thing. We're going to start recording. Got that, Bob?
Yeah.
All right. All right, now, introducing Tom Biesanz. He's going to take us through a process. So Tom, unmute yourself and I'll stop sharing and we'll look at you.
Great. I really enjoyed the check-ins. It really felt like it grounded me in terms of who I'm talking to. And if you want to know, if you hear a strange sound, my cat is on the other side of the screen. So that's my reality. I'm going to start with a strange fact. Although everybody agrees that death is 100% certain reality for each of us, almost no one acts as if it's going to happen to them. And it's sort of like it's another level of reality for it. I was Santa Barbara elder chair for over 4 years, and I felt like a fake in some ways. And part of it was because I didn't feel, I mean, I am a dancer, a prancer, I exercise well, I eat well, and an elder, part of it, the definition, I think, is to be close to death. That's what we look at it. It's like how long have you been born and how close are you to death? An elder looks at it from how close to death. And And then a year and a half ago, I was in my 70s, and I had a swollen neck and found out I had mantle cell lymphoma, which apparently is a gift of my service of Agent Orange in Vietnam. I was a field medic there. And that popped up, and I looked it up, and it had like a 50% survival rate in 5 years. So it was like, oh, death, which really brought up my fears of that and the reality of that. And it really, I went through lots and lots of processing with that. And one of the things that I started doing was I started during my morning meditation. My wife also is a cancer survivor who was given months to live, and that was 10 years ago. So the two of us share that, and we do a morning meditation. And in that meditation, one thing I started doing, I do a lot of things with breath in the meditation. But one thing I started doing is just sort of pretending that this next breath is my last breath. And I've been doing that for about 2 months now. And it really changes every day. And it's a little bit like a fire drill. You know, we can wait to take our last breath. A lot of people are never aware that it's their last breath. And a lot of people are in so much pain or so much so there that they can't really be with that last breath. And so to me, it's a lot like Thich Nhat Hanh does the thing in terms of, you know, just breathing in, I feel alive, and breathing out, I let go. And I think it's all about letting go, is the death breath, the last breath, doing that. It's not a set exercise. So feel free to do it in whatever way that really works for you, for doing it, and what's meaningful for you and where you're called for it. And I recommend you do it as a regular exercise. So we're going to start. So you let yourself get comfortable, because you want to just really be with your body with this, not in your mind. Let your body be comfortable. Even close your eyes. And start with a full exhale. Just really let every breath, a bit of the breath out. It's helpful to get the lungs as empty as possible, because a lot of times we don't fully exhale. And then I wait. And I allow an involuntary in-breath to start. Wait till it happens. And then I let it expand. I do start with my belly, and it goes up and out, and even down into my legs, and even up into the center and down into the earth, feeling my connection with everything. And a lot of it is I feel alive. I feel my body. It's a lot about sensations to me. It's like, oh, so much I'm not aware of my breath, my body. And here I'm just so aware of my body. And then hold that top of the breath. And then letting go. Letting go of life, of my plans, of my finances, my health, my thoughts, my life story, my family, my mind, my body, my loves, my passion, just letting go of everything. Oh. And then I pause. I'm there, I'm dead. I finished my last breath, and it's over. And then another breath happens, and I'm grateful and I enjoy it. It is a chance to script this day that I didn't think I was going to have another breath. And then I exhale that one. And then another one happens, and I enjoy that. And so there's this gift with every breath. that is just really, really delightful. I recommend doing this every day like I do, and it changes every day. And facing death really gives great value to our life. It's helped me clarify what I want to do, what I want to say, lessen my fears. I also want to recommend an author that I really love, Mark Nepo, N-E-P-O. His book of Awakening has been out for 20 years, and it's actually just got republished. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book of exploring life and death. He was a multiple cancer survivor as well. Facing death is very enlivening, and facing life is very enlivening. And I am complete with that.
Thank you, Tom. All right.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to stop video here for a moment. No. And yeah.
Right. Okay, how our fear shows up. So from this warrior's perspective, my fear often defaults to self-protection and safety. My fears kind of has a positive intent of self-protection, create safety. And it feels more like contraction and paralysis at times. I get paralyzed. I get paralyzed. Then it moves me towards inaction or holds me in this paralyzed state. So how does fear show up? So let's look. Let's see, there it is. So today is about finding a possibility of making fear an ally. But to start with, we all need to, this is about each of us doing it. It's not about you do it the way I do it, or my method works for you. It's about you finding out the way that fear shows up for you, first of all. And it's not about thoughts or judgments. It's about a physical sensation when feeling the fear. Where do you feel it in your body? What does it feel like? And remember your answer to this. Because when we follow these steps today, or if you do any process work and you want to check in with your fear, remember how your body felt today, before that, your awareness of it, and notice any changes as you work with your fear. For example, at the end of this cafe. So is there a couple men who want to just share what it feels like? Just take 20 seconds, share what it feels like in your body, your fear. Just unmute yourself and share it.
My chest gets tight and I feel kind of bent over, and I don't breathe very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, for me, tight chest also, and I wonder if it's my heart or me or what, but it's fear.
Thank you. John?
Also the chest, really shallow breathing. And I notice also that my motor control, my movements are a little stiffer and jerkier. And my mind is shattered. It's going like this. So, yeah.
All right, thanks for sharing that, guys. And so what the invitation for all of us is to think about where we hold our fear, not where we hold it, but what it feels like in your body. What is your body generally telling you? How does your fear show up? And then we're going to start to look at how to make it an ally. So first breakout group is going to be, we're going to do 3 breakout groups. We're going to do, for awareness of our fear, we're going to do what do I fear is the first breakout group. And then what does my fear look like? And you're going to come up with it. Each individual man's going to come up with what their fear looks like. And what is the gift hidden in your fear is the final breakout group. And this is where it gets fun. Stephen, you had a question?
Yeah, I don't feel it in my body. I do feel like I just stop moving, like crouching, hiding, and motionless. I mean, I feel it as the absence of joy, but I don't feel it as the presence in my body.
Right. No, but that's it. You feel it as crouching, hiding, and presence of motionlessness, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's how your fear shows up for you, right? In your body?
It's not in my body. It's a mind thing.
Okay. Shows up in your mind that way.
Yes.
That's great. Just be aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Reuel, can you give an example of what does my fear look like? Because that could be, that question.
Yes. Well, no. Before we do the breakout groups. So session 1, what do you fear most? And Tom, you let it right into it. I'm going to model it. Okay, so what do I fear most? And I'm going to stop the share and pin the video on me. Bob, pin the video on me. And so what do I fear most in fear? What are my fears? I'm fear of dying. I have a fear of dying, fear of getting a bad medical condition that's very painful. What are my other fears? Fear of looking bad, fear of not being worthy, fear of not being good enough. But as have gone deeper into my fears, then we look at what's your greatest fear. So this is going to be a 3-minute session per man, but at about 2.5 minutes, focus the man, the other 2 men, help the man focus on what is his greatest fear. And so if you can, come up with your greatest fear. Mine happens to be dying before I've actually lived my purpose in this life, actually lived like the man I want to be. So I have a fear of that. Like I'm going to die and I'm just going to be like nothing. Nothing happened. Nobody cared that I was here or not. But main thing is that I don't really care how I live my life. I want to care for how I live my life. And so that's my greatest fear. All right, so I'm going to go back to sharing our screen. And we're going to do 3 minutes of sharing our fears. We're going to do a breakout group, small breakout groups, 3 men in a group. Bob's going to set that up. First thing, when you get into your group, ask for a timekeeper and this will be for all, he'll stay with all the groups. The timekeeper will give you a 30-second warning at whatever time we have. This is a 3-minute session. The other 2 are 5-minute sessions per man. So pick a timekeeper. We'll try and stay in the same groups and give it 3 minutes per man. And then the session will end in 9 minutes. So let me get this working. There we go. So these are the questions. We're going to post them in the chat, right, Lex? We'll have these posted in the chat. What are your fears and what is your greatest fear? And so we're each going to have 3 minutes to do that. Go ahead, Bob, and take us there. Yeah, I like that, John D. All right, session number 2. What does your fear look like? What does my fear look like? What does your fear look like? And it's going to be different for every one of us, as all of these questions and answers are. So you get to choose, and you choose what it is that it looks like. So I'm going to start and model it for you, starting with the place of, where's the main place that fear resides in me? Okay, so go ahead and Bob and pin me as the, or if you haven't, pin me as the video. And
you are.
So my fear resides in me mostly in my belly. And I'm going to move back so I can show you that. It's down here in my abdomen. Its color is like a gray green, kind of a muddy gray green. Dimension or shape, it's about abdomen size, like a basketball size, maybe a little bit bigger. For shape, it's kind of roundish, but not a circle, not a sphere. It's just kind of rounder edges. It has it used to be a harder shape, but now it's got a softer shape than it did before. Kind of it melds a little. And it melds the shape of my body right in my abdomen. And so the metaphor is, for me, it's like a breastplate, but it's the lower part of the breastplate. It's like, and it's almost like tendons that grip me all the way around my back and on the front. And I get these, it's like fear grips me there. And a couple men talked about shortness of breath. It makes my breathing shorter. It kind of grips me and holds me there. And so the metaphor, so the biggest part of it is the last thing, which is the metaphor. Create a metaphor, a few descriptive words of what your fear is like. I also have fear around my throat and my neck. And there's a different metaphor I'd use for this one. So you find out where you hold fear in your body, and you may find you hold it in different places, like I have, and answer these questions and pick out a metaphor for you. Like mine is like a breastplate. It's almost like a girdle, like a woman's girdle. It's like that, where it's tight around my abdomen, but I call it a breastplate instead of a girdle. So we're gonna break out into groups again. You're gonna have your timekeeper. This time there's quite a few questions, so you got 5 minutes. And then Lexus put the questions into the chat if you need to remind yourself what they are.
Oh, they're in
Just
chat.
open your chat window. All right, so Bob, let's break out. And hopefully we'll be in the same place.
I went a little too fast.
No break?
It hasn't been 20 minutes, Alan.
Okay, Reuel.
I got to unmute. That's what I have to do. All right. Okay. So there's ancient stories. These are, I think you've heard these stories. Everybody's heard them. Of warriors using their fear as their ally. I don't know if everybody's heard them, but there are stories of warriors using fear as their ally. So how do we recreate fear as an ally in our lives? And the first step I take in making someone else an ally who I'm not getting along with is for me to change the dynamic relationship within myself. I need to make some change of the dynamics. If I keep it the same, I'm not going to get along with them. If I change the dynamics, I can look at options of how I can get along with them. So the first step for me is start by giving myself permission to approach it differently. And it's like, I don't know if you guys need to do it, but I need to do it. I need to give myself permission to try something different. Like if I'm really pissed off at someone, I got to give myself permission to okay, I'm going to try not being so pissed off. I'm going to try maybe listen to them, or maybe I'm not hearing something, or I'm going to try being calmer or something, but I'm going to give myself permission to approach it differently. So what are the options that we have with our fear, with our relationship to fear, to change that relationship? And so this is another somatic piece where we work with our fear. And so I'm going to model this. And this is probably the part of it that's really, really helped me to work with my fear. And so I'm going to stop sharing and let you view me as I do this. All right. And so go ahead and pin the video on me if it's not, Bob. So on this one, so most of us identified where the fear was in our body. Okay, so this one, I'm going to ask you to move your hands and surround, like my fear was in my abdomen, my belly. So I'm going to surround my fear with my hands. I'm actually going to physically feel that fear, like kind of psychically feel it, that fear in my belly. And I feel it there. That shape is there. I know it's there. And then I'm going to give myself permission to temporarily move that fear from where it's been. It's been here for 60 years. I've had this fear right there as like a corset or something like that, right? Like a breastplate on my belly for 60 years. So I'm going to allow my hands to guide it and move it in some direction. You pick the direction you want to move your fear. But I like to move it in front of me. So I actually grab the fear and I can feel it suck out of my body, out of my abdomen, and move in front of me. And I've got it right in front of me here. And I feel my body's response, which is there's some space now in my abdomen that wasn't there before because the fear is gone. It's right here. I've got this fear in front of me. It's this big, bigger than a basketball. It's out in front of me. And so what I'm going to ask, as we ask, is what do you want to put in place of that fear? So I've got this space here. As I hold the fear out here, I got this space that it's not in anymore. And I may the first time I did it, I only moved it like a 1/4 inch. And if you can only move it a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch, that's fine. You still have a little space there, wherever that was. So imagine what you could put, the gift that you could give yourself in that space. What's the gift that you've always wanted for yourself instead of where that fear is? And so what I have found that I like to put in there is compassion for myself. So in that empty place, I'm letting in compassion now fill that place. And as I work with this, as I've worked at this over the years, as I've moved the fear out, I can feel the compassion flowing in when I move it out. So it's something that my body is becoming used to this as a somatic response. I move the fear out in front of me, compassion flows in there. And so this is about the gift that's within that fear that you haven't given yourself because the fear's taken up so much of your attention when you're feeling it. And this is about, I'm not getting rid of that fear. If I keep it out here, it's still here. It can come back when it wants. I'm moving it out here. All right, so now we're going to go back to share screen. And we're going to go to the next slide, which is the break got another breakout session, and Lex will put these questions in the chat, and we're going to help each other get through it 5 minutes per man, just like the last one. And we're going to work through this process. So go ahead, Bob, and
The hell is it?
Okay,
move
so
us
let's
into the break.
hold off a moment before I send you to your breakout rooms and make sure everybody has a moment to get these in directions, because they didn't all transfer to chat. So make sure that you're ready to access this, and I will create the breakouts. All rooms. See you in 15.
Yes. All right. So we're going to wrap up the topic today. And I really wanted to hear what, a little bit of feedback. We have, I'd like to hear from Tom Biesanz and a couple other men share what they do with their fear and the gift they give with themselves. So about 2 minutes each, and we could probably have time for about 4 guys. And so I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other as we talk. Anybody would like to talk?
So this is Bill Dare, Snowy Owl from Albany, Oregon. About 3 years ago, I discovered a book, Love is Letting Go of Fear. It's an old book by Jan Polsky, and it's a wonderful book. I've recommended it to many brothers in the Northwest area and around the U.S. so far. I recommend it to you men. It's a way to live by releasing fear. And my wife and I work on it daily for what that's worth. And I'll be happy to send Bob the links to it if he'd like to share them with everyone.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, you could put them in the. You could put it in the chat.
I can't. I've tried,
okay.
and I can't get it in there.
Okay, send it to Bob. He'll get it to us.
Yep. Thank
Hey,
you.
Tom Biesanz, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you share what you do with your fear?
Yeah, well, I actually went through a whole process, and it was pretty interesting to go through this. And for me, my fear was like an anvil in my belly, and it pulled my shoulders, my head, and my knees. It pulled me into a ball. And what I did, the action I did, was move my shoulders back and straighten my spine. And the anvil actually went down to the ground and physically grounded me. And then my whole inside is just upright, and I'm sensing, and I was filling my body with gratitude. And I was actually looking right out the window, and I'm doing right now. I've got the hummingbird feeder and the flowers and some stained glass and a beautiful tree, and just filled with gratitude, filling my whole sensation with gratitude. I also want to say that Lex actually asked our group at the end of some space, and somebody said, "What's a real fear that you have?" And so there was a little bit of exploration of that, and that felt really powerful to me to make it more real here. I mean,
Thank you, Tom. Got time for another man?
Okay, I will share. What I realize is not what's important to me doesn't seem to be a particular fear. I have particular fears, but it's that I'm a fearful man more than I actually care to admit. As a general thing, it's not hard for me to have fear in the moment of a thing happening. I've been given a great gift because a number of years ago, I learned to take a physical step forward, metaphorically into the fear, very much like we do in a pit training, holding the fear on the tip of the sword idea. So now what I look for is what's the first moment that I get to, that I have the opportunity to experience the fear. I actually want the fear. I don't want to have fear that I'm not aware of. I want to have fear and then recognize that it's fear. And once I've done that, I'm usually able to step right through it. And it's almost like saying, oh, there you are, old friend. And that really is making an ally of what could be coming from great shadow. So in my best times, and it's a lot of the time really, I can do that. I look forward to recognizing the fear, and I think of it as a friend once I recognize it.
Nice, John. Thank you. That was wonderful. We got time for one more.
Yeah, I'll go. I've been waiting. One, I thought it was a great call, and I got a lot out of it, which I was surprised. Actually, what I mostly got was that forgiveness is what I really needed. That kind of surprised me. But it's very similar to something I've been working with is to feel the strong emotion and then give it space or compassion, and it becomes a presence. And then that presence can become the presence of all of life. That's how life is entering me at this time. So just giving myself a little space gives me some freedom for a few minutes and then start over again.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like to hear if guys could do it shortly. A couple of things you gave. What did you give yourself? Does anybody have something they gave themselves in the place of that where the fear was?
Oh.
Permission to love.
Wise clarity.
Courage.
Someone said courage?
Yeah. Being out there for other people. Permission.
Self-forgiveness and compassion.
Permission not to have to fill it up with anything.
Yes. Anybody else?
Loving myself.
I think innate to my being is,
Can you say that one more time, Stephen?
as far as giving love to myself, I don't need to give anything to myself. It's already been given. What I just need to do is recognize that whenever I'm disturbed in any way, whenever I'm in any state other than this loving peace, it's my fear that needs to be recognized, and then I'm now able to have space for that which is given to me, because it's the nature of my being. I'm not the one giving it. That's who I am. And so whenever I'm GPS saying fear in whatever form, it's wonderful that I can then go, I know you, old friend. And then I can be myself, which is love.
Nice.
I'm
Thank
complete.
you. Thank you, Stephen. Did you have something?
Oh, I just said that I get liberation, and that lets me have the present moment.
Oh, nice. All right. So I hear men that have made allies in their fear. That's wonderful to see that it's available for us. Thanks, you. Okay, Bob, handed it back to you for the checkout.
Okay. So as we get ready to check out, be sure that you put your name and your email address in chat so that we can get that. And also, can you go back so I can view everybody again? Well,